Hey, it's Nick. It's 12/22, 2021. I want to make this one real quick. I have a question to ask anybody who knows more about this stuff, malignant narcissism, and being a child or an adult child of somebody with that personality disorder. Somebody can let me know if this is this. Okay, I'll tell you the scenario. You let me know if it's typical of malignant narcissist parent. What it is that he talks to me in a way that he would never talk to another man or anyone else to their face, like, ever. He would never, ever, ever do that, the way he talks to me. I'm that special person. And I would never let anyone else talk, like, to me that way. You know what I mean? Nobody could ever justify talking to me the way that he does. And he feels entitled to talk to me like that. He says because he's my father, and also, I mean, of course, because I stole a bunch of his weed spread out over a million times over the last 40 years or 30 years or whatever. Of course, there's that. There's other stuff I did. I mean, I did bad things. I did, stuff I'm not proud of, but, to my dad, and, that's definitely on me. I can't blame him, but, no, I'm just wondering if that's typical of a malignant narcissist. I want someone else to tell me, if maybe I'm wrong about what I'm thinking, that maybe I don't have echoist personality disorder. I'll be able to talk to my mental health counselor soon, but I'll find out from them. I would be surprised if I don't, but that's it. One more thing. Part about having a malignant narcissist parent is that nobody knows that they're like the way they are to you when you're alone with them, because they are very charming and they seem almost harmless in public. Their public persona, and the way they present themselves to people, and then now with Charlie, once you get to know him, you can tell that he resents me because he'll start using passive-aggressive humor in front of people towards me, and I'll isolate me and alienate me, and it'll become pick on Nick Day. I mean, this was for decades. Him and, my sister, unfortunately, just got out their resentment towards me, by passive-aggressively picking on me, I've talked to other people that it seems to be a theme in some family where they make fun of the person who they resent, and it's just a mean-spirited undertone, and it's supposed to be a joke, but it's not really a joke, because there's always a kernel of truth in every joke, and sometimes that kernel of truth is very painful for the person who's causing the stress to have to accept that they're affecting people like that. You know what I mean? It's hard. So I don't blame Charlie or Angie, my sister, for how they feel. I just wish the communication was better. That's all. But I played my part in the basic degrading of all healthy communication that went on between the three of us, I guess. I definitely played my part. I'm hoping maybe this will change things. I don't know. I'm not doing this to hurt anybody's feelings, but I put everything out there. My life is an open book. I don't hide anything. And I firmly believe if you did it, admit it. Don't be ashamed. Admit it. Because if you did it, they're going to find out. Whoever wants to dig up information, you might as well own it. And just learn from it and grow from it. So, I just want to say that. But okay, back to my original point. One of them, the one I just tried to make is that I didn't understand when I would try to explain to people what it was like having to deal with Charlie's unhealthy communication patterns. They saw him differently than I saw him, and they couldn't imagine that he would be the way that he is. You know what I mean? And because I obviously was biased against him, anything I said could literally just be attributed to my bias against him. I was probably being accurate a lot, and people assumed I was blowing things up due to my bias against him. So, you know, if I said something that was accurate, they might have assumed that I was blowing it out of proportion because they couldn't imagine somebody that just acted like that was somebody that they said that they loved. Like, for example, you know, I started going to school. I was injured. There's no jobs out there for me being an ex-convict. So that I like. That's the thing, is he wanted me. I like him for this. This is something good. He agreed I should get a job that's intellectually stimulating. You know what I mean? This is the good part, you know, I guess, is he said he would help me. He said I could live here. He said he would take care of me till I got my master's, you know, and most people, I guess, they'd be like, no, I don't want that or something. But I was like, okay, I'll live with you for 6 years and get my master's. And I didn't foresee that I was going to have a social life and stuff like that coming. I gave up on that, but it happened, and I don't know. He seemed to resent me for doing good. It was weird. Like, the better I did, the more angry he was, the more negative it was. He likes it better when I'm down and out, and it's kind of weird. Like, but yeah. So once I started going to college, you know, and I was doing my best to not feed into the unhealthy communication by using smart recovery tools to not react to things, you know, he continuously degraded me, unprovoked. Just the way that he talked, the way he communicates, it's just degrading in nature. And then I said, like, one time, I said, if you're letting me stay here to go to college out of the kindness of your heart, then, you know, why do you degrade me so much for doing it? Why? And he said, because it wouldn't be any fun for him if he couldn't degrade me, and he laughed, and a genuine laugh. Like, you know, see, he would say that was a joke. But I know that kind of humor is born from that kernel of truth. And I have other indications of him kind of, he just can't handle having any leverage. You know, when I was on the phone in jail, he didn't have to make sense because he could just hang up on me. He could say anything he wanted to because he could just hang up on me if I didn't like it. You know, where I wasn't allowed to express myself without the threat of being hung up on. And he bragged about having the leverage. If I'm going to talk about that, I might as well bring up this one part. He exercised some pretty inconsistent logic by telling me, like, I had a bunch of computers I ordered, and I was going to, like, sell them and take the money. And I wanted MJ to sell them. They were brand new in the box, my ex, and get the money and, like, bond me out or something. You know, they were definitely over $2,000 worth of computers. And he took the computers that he would pay her, told her she could use the other computer I wanted her to sell, and she listened to him. You know, she didn't tell me she used the computer. I had to find that out another way. She let me think that I still had a brand new computer. But that's another issue with her personality disorders that she can work on. I don't need to bring up her. I apologize for that. But anyways, what I'm saying is, like, he took my stuff from her, like, and didn't give her the money, and then kind of acted like he did me a favor because she was just not going to get enough money for it, so he was getting me nothing for them. Oh, but he could pay me back while I was in jail. That's right. Give me the money, I'll just send it to you every other week, then you'll get my commissary. But trust me, I would have rather have gotten bonded out and then not had to take his money, not being there to get the money. So it was like I was selling him it's pretty weird, but he told me that when I got arrested, I gave away my stuff. That by getting arrested, I walked away from my possessions. So they were no longer mine. I had no claim to them anymore. I was just lucky he was sending me money at all. And if I didn't like it, of course, I could get hung up on, or this, he could just not send me money, period, if I upset him enough. So, the inconsistent logic there should be obvious, because I recall when he was in prison and he had things on the street, and he was certainly not just saying, okay, well, I guess I gave them up. Yep. Keep the Land Cruiser. It's all yours now, Nick. I gave it up. I got arrested. You know what I mean? It's like, it's inconsistent logic. It's like evidence of a predator, somebody that can just change their logic to suit their narrative. You know, and that's what I found is like the best friend of moral decay is fallacious logic. For real. Somebody that can use logic to justify doing anything. You know, the spectrum of having the ability to do that is directly related to their level of moral decay. Like, so, you know, that's what I've found. You know, so, but, yeah, a malignant narcissist parent will probably, this is my prediction. They treat their kid differently than they would treat anybody else in their life. Then no one ever sees it but the kid. It's always out of sight. Except for when my dad passive aggressively attacks me in front of like people like girlfriends and stuff like that. You know, it makes everybody very uncomfortable. Maybe I'm doing that to people now, but you know, it's like I said, if you did it, admit it. You know, anybody can feel free to leave a note in the comment section or something. You know, we can interact. All right, have a good day. Hopefully this will be the last video of the day, right? All right.